Welcome back to Modern PH Defense, your trusted channel for stories on Philippine defense, security, and modernization. Today, we dive into a question that could reshape our maritime security. What happens if Japan transfers its Hatsuyuki-class Destroyers and P-3C Orion maritime patrol aircraft to the Philippine Navy? This isn't just about hardware. It's about history, strategy, and the survival of a nation defined by the sea. From floating museums to real warships. For decades, the Philippine Navy relied on vessels many describe as floating museums. Our fleet was built on U.S. Navy hand-me-downs from World War II and the Korean War. Even today, some front-line ships are over 40 years old, well past the age when most navies retire their hulls. Now compare this to our neighbors. China fields one of the world's largest navies, with aircraft carriers, nuclear submarines, and modern destroyers. Vietnam and Indonesia invest heavily in modern frigates and submarines. Even Malaysia and Thailand operate fleets that are, in many ways, more modern than ours. And then there is Japan, for decades one of Asia's most advanced maritime powers. Japan's Cold War icons. In the 1980s, the Hatsuyuki-class destroyers were the pride of the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force. They were Japan's first gas turbine destroyers, optimized for anti-submarine warfare during the Cold War. At around 3,000 tons, they are larger than our Pilar-class frigates, equipped with advanced sonar, and include a helicopter deck for extended reach. Alongside them flew the P-3C Orion, a legend in maritime patrol. With a range of 8,000 plus km and endurance of 12 plus hours, the Orion was flown by the US, Japan, Australia, and NATO allies. It carries radar, electronic sensors, sonobuoys, and magnetic anomaly detectors and can deploy torpedoes and anti-ship missiles. Concept of operations: the Orion detects, the destroyer intercepts. A layered anti-submarine defense, proven over decades. This potential transfer doesn't appear from thin air. Japan has already delivered 13 multi-role response vessels to the Philippine Coast Guard ships that now escort resupply missions to Ayungin Shoal and shadow Chinese vessels in the West Philippine Sea. The next step is more serious: combat assets. The program will likely fall under Japan's Official Security Assistance, OSA, potentially structured as low-interest loans, grants, or cost-sharing schemes where the Philippines funds refurbishment and integration. The numbers, cost and value. Refurbish per Hatsuyuki, $30 to $50 million. 6 ships total, $180 to $300 million, 10 to 17 billion Cuban pesos. P-3C Orions plus training, about $100 million, Cuban peso 5.5 billion. Total package, roughly 15 to 23 billion Cuban pesos. Yes, it's a significant investment. But consider, a brand new frigate costs about 15 billion Cuban pesos each, and a single P-8 Poseidon exceeds $2 billion. By comparison, the Japanese package is a cost-effective bridge to close urgent capability gaps. Hatsuyuki-class destroyers. Displacement around 3,000 tons, larger than Pilar-class. Built for anti-submarine warfare with advanced sonar. Includes a helicopter deck to extend reach and responsiveness. P-3C Orion. Range, 8,000 plus km, endurance, 12 plus hours. Systems, radar, electronic sensors, sonobuoys, magnetic anomaly detector. armament, torpedoes and anti-ship missiles. Together, they deliver a layered ASW shield, long-range detection from the air, fast interception at sea. The armed forces of the Philippines are in Horizon 3, a modernization phase prioritizing air and maritime defense. After decades focused on internal security, Manila is now turning outward to deter threats in the West Philippine Sea. Chinese submarines operating from Hainan can slip into the South China Sea with ease. For an archipelago of 7,000 plus islands and a maritime domain larger than its land area, the undersea domain is our greatest vulnerability. The Hatsuyuki and Orion directly address that gap. Just as important, they enhance interoperability with Japan. With the reciprocal access agreement in place, joint operations patrols at sea and coordinated air coverage become smoother and more credible. Yes, the platforms are not new. The Hatsuyuki-class is 30 plus years old, and the P-3C is retired in several air arms. Some will dismiss them as hand-me-downs. But context matters. With limited budgets and urgent threats, these are giant leaps forward. They buy us time to train personnel, build doctrine, and prepare for the acquisition of modern systems down the line. They also send a clear signal: Japan stands firmly behind Philippine security. Manila is not alone against intensifying pressure in the West Philippine Sea. Looking ahead, the year 2027. Imagine the year 2027. 6 Japanese destroyers patrol our waters. Overhead, P-3C Orion scan the depths, laying a net of sonobuoys across the sea lanes. For the first time, the Philippines can systematically monitor, deter, and if necessary defend against hostile submarines and surface threats in the West Philippine Sea. This is not the final solution, but it is a vital step, a bridge toward a future where our Navy and Air Force are no longer the region's weakest links, but credible, interoperable forces. Final thoughts? The sea is our lifeblood. Our sovereignty depends on it. With Japan's support, we can finally defend it not only with determination, but with strength and credibility. Question for you: should the Philippines accept Japanese destroyers and Orions as a practical, near-term solution? Or should we focus on fewer, brand new platforms instead? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you found this analysis valuable, please like, share, and subscribe to Modern PH Defense for more stories on our nation's security and modernization. Because the sea is our frontier and the future of the Philippines will be decided on the waters of the West Philippine Sea.